highlighting this up to white for a change. I'm going to highlight his head with Eel Sun Scarlet. You may have seen this colour before. I think I've used it once or twice recently. So I'll put that much out for to start off with, and give a little bit of the Wazdaka red and with the Eel Sun Scarlet. And let's see what we can do here. I'm working my way through these in any order I wish. Just whichever mini I fancy doing, that's the one I'm going to do. The terrain pieces, however, I am waiting to paint. They're the ones I'm going to be doing first with my airbrush. So there you are. Right, now let's get this coat done. So that's where we're up to so far. Give the paint a shake. Oh, I've just thought of something else we could do with the red paint. Bear with me. I'm going to go back in the red paint and just get a little bit on the brush, and we can get this Hydra emblem sorted. Now this is one of the reasons why we don't want to have a lot of paint on the brush when we're painting, because there's some very small gaps between these areas, and the last thing we want to do is fill them up So what we're trying to do is just paint enough, or have enough paint on the brush. Oh my giddy aunt, just to go through, just to go into the holes. I've just noticed that there's white specks down here, and that won't do at all because they will stand out. So we want, I've got a very fairly wet brush here, so this is going on more like a wash than a paint step. So while we're waiting for that to dry, let's get into the deep blue and start going over his jacket. Now don't go wild and start painting every little thing in this deep blue, because it's going to look wrong if you do that. You're trying to add little subtle highlights. just this now we need to do, and also have to remember to come back and do the Hydra symbol on this arm as well. But as I say, it's an exercise in patience when you're painting like this, and with this particular one, because everything is so small, it's easy to make mistakes. But the thing about making mistakes is that it's absolutely impossible when you're painting. You never make mistakes, you just have an opportunity to make an adjustment. That is it. So there we are. That's that. I'm going to do a little bit of a further highlight on them as time goes on, but not as yet. For now, we're going back into the red for his head. Let me just... That's better. So I'm just stippling on Evil Sun Scarlet here, and now I'm trying to looks like you can go really. So highlight that part, highlight all around the eye socket. Because you need to make the face look the brightest part of the mini, more so with a mini like this, where it's a very dark mini with one, probably two bright areas on it. So that's that. Now what I'm going to do is highlight a little more with the deep blue, but also some of this grey and some of this Ulthuan blue. Is this going to be too bright, I wonder? Let's have a look. It's not too bright, but it's quite a nice subtle colour. We're not looking to completely dominate anything with this colour. All we want to do is just add a few little specks, here and there, especially on areas where it's raised. And that's per usual. If you think it's somewhere that light is going to hit, that's where it goes. But don't put this as a big highlight. Get my other small brush into the blue were Ulthuan blue. The previous mix I did for this, that's what I was looking for. There we are. There's not much that we need to think about with this one. Running this over as a bit of a dry brush along that belt buckle. I want to do it there. I'm going to do a little bit more there. And what I'm now going to do is go into this low thermal blue. So most of it's off the dry brush on that side. Hopefully this will give the look of good glow. Once again, I'm going to try and add a little bit of the whites to the Lutheran blue, so we can make it a little bit brighter. Okay. And let's just, oops, see if we can use that to our advantage here. Does that, and I'll rinse the brush off, go back into it with a damp brush and smooth around the edges if I can. Actually make red colours from this. And I'm going to get the white on the brush and just run over the edges. There we are. As I said, I'm not a good object source light practitioner. I'm going to add some white here. And hope against all hope that going into the Guilliman blue or however you pronounce it, adding this shade or this glaze will help it to look like glow, blue glow. There we are. I'm going to go on the Tesseract as well with this. There we are. That will do, I think, for any form of object source lighting for me. That's my comfort zone far surpassed. I wanted to go back into the Wazdaka red and attempt to gently go over and create the logo here. There we go, so I've got the Hydrolog on both sides now, which I'm happy about. There's only a couple of things left to do. Using a little bit of Flashgitch yellow, we're going to go into the Scarlet and highlight his head a little bit more. Okay, so there is way too much yellow in that mix at the moment, so we'll try and get a much more subdued colour. Yeah. I hope this looks fairly okay. I'm adding a few little bits here and there of red on this highlight orange colour. just to break up some of this blue that's dominating at the moment. So there we go. And the next step is going into this little bit of white we have here and just picking out the corners. Oh yeah, I'm adding a few little marks into this. Just to show there's kind of light coming from it, or at least I hope it will. And on the top as well. There we go. Next, we want a silver colour, and the colour I'm using here is plate mail metal. And because it's erupting from the bottle, I'll just take a little bit and I'll go around this belt buckle. Just like so. I don't know what that is, so I'll paint it. And we've got some little studs as well here. So I'll paint those as well. And same on this side. 1, 2, 3. Anything else I need to think about? No, so that's the main body of him done. So now what we're looking at is his boots, which is just going to get the deep blue treatment along the toes, on the side, in any raised areas. As we get further up the boot, we don't need to worry too much about it, because it's going to be in shadow from the coat. Yeah. And on the other side, just have a little bit of kind of like there and there. But I'm going to do a wash. I have decided. So really I shouldn't have painted that metallic yet, but never mind. We're back in with the, I'm going to have to put some more out. Good. In fact, I didn't put any out in the first place, so that's fine. With the Rhinox hide, which we used to do the base in the first place. We'll add some of that onto the palette, and then into that we'll add some of the red, just different reds, trying to make a nice reddy colour. That's all we're trying to do here. We're not trying to be precise. Get a nice brick red colour, fine and dandy. That should do. So this brick red colour, surprisingly enough, is going over the bricks. just like so. And then we can lighten them up with a little bit of yellow. Spot more red. That should do the trick. I'm just going to wipe most of this off and just gently over. There's a dry brush. There we are. That's that one. If we want, we can take it a little bit further by just adding a little bit of this colour into yellow, so now like an orangey colour. Again, wipe it off the brush and just sparingly. There we go. That should do the trick. You want to go mad with this part. That's that done. Next, the metal areas. Now we're going to do what we did for the girder in Spider-Man's Spider-Man Minute. I'm going to get some of the Warplock bronze, which is that colour, and we're going to paint that all over. Now this is going to be a different one. Usually I don't bother putting any colour underneath Warplock bronze. I usually have this Warplock bronze as the actual base colour for any metallic. But just this once, I thought we'll change it up. So it's made it a little more brown coloured. There we are. Now, what I've done with these as well is I've made them up, stuck them down, and I've waited for a while to give the glue a good chance to basically weld the miniature to its base. So, as a guess, I would say that's not moving very far now. And now we're going back into the white metal. I'm going to have to put some on a palette, so I'm just going to put it on CD palette. Don't need not way too much. And I'm going to go in with a flat brush, pound it into the bristles, and then, as per usual, wipe it off, and then realise that that's not actually dry yet, so we can't do what I wanted to do. If I had my airbrush handy, which I do, and if I had my pump handy, which I do, I could get my airbrush out, attach it to the nozzle, or attach to the pipe, and squish it on. And for the first time, I can use an airbrush on a minute, but I want to dry it. It might be a bit noisy, this, bear with me. I'm not sure how this is going to work, so I'm just do that and just try the paint. So we can use this as a test as well to see if my voice actually carries over the sound of the pump and the airbrush itself. If it doesn't, what that means is I'm going to have to get some form of extra recording equipment. But there we are. I have officially used my airbrush for the very first time. Yay! Pity it was only to dry paint that I've brushed on, but hey, it's there. I'm running with it. So, let's get this again back into this plate metal that I put on here. We'll wipe it off so there's very little on the brush, and let's just go over, and this will why have I still got my headroom on? And this is just going to pick up on anywhere that is raised, hopefully. But I'm also going to totally ignore the fact that I can't get under him. So there's a shadow there. And that is that. What we need to do now, as you well know, get back into the black paint and go around the edge, and also around this top lip as well. Here's the red skull, including some object source lighting, which I'm surprised seems to work okay. Ish. But there we are. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, as always, stay safe and take care. God bless, and bye. Bye.